Chosen one, anchor your spirit to what I am about to reveal. You need to stop whatever you are doing and lock your attention onto my voice right now. I know exactly what the last few weeks have felt like for you. The atmosphere in your home and your life has been incredibly heavy. People around you are acting completely out of character. They are madly in love with you, yet they are furious at the same time. You feel this intense contradiction every single day. One moment they are drawn to your light like a magnet, and the next they are pushing you away with sudden and unexplained anger. It makes absolutely no sense to your logical mind. And every time you try to fix the situation, the walls just get higher and thicker than they were before. You find yourself walking on eggshells around the people who claim to care about you the most. You are constantly monitoring their moods, just to survive. You walk into a room and the conversations suddenly stop. You can feel their eyes tracking your every move with a strange mix of admiration and deep resentment. You carry this invisible weight on your chest everywhere you go. You wake up at 3 in the morning feeling anxious and completely drained. You lay there in the dark, wondering what you did wrong. You ask yourself why your mere presence makes them so defensive and hostile. The truth is that you did nothing wrong at all. You have been bending over backwards, trying to accommodate their massive insecurities. You constantly dim your own light, just to keep the peace. But the peace never lasts for long, because the issue is not about your actions or your careful words. It is about something entirely different, happening beneath the surface. The enemy has been working overtime in your life for one specific reason. He is using their confusion and their sudden outbursts to keep you entirely distracted. He wants you exhausted and doubting your own sanity. He knows that if you stay focused on trying to fix their furious reactions, you will never look inward to see what is actually happening. You will never realize the massive amount of power that is sitting dormant right inside your own spirit. You did not stumble upon this message by accident today. The algorithm did not bring you here by some random chance. This is a divine appointment scheduled long before the foundations of the earth were ever laid. Heaven orchestrated this exact moment to pull you out of the confusion and give you ultimate clarity. Let us talk about why they are so obsessed with you. They cannot stop thinking about you even when they are visibly angry. Your very presence challenges every single limitation they have ever accepted for themselves. You carry a frequency that makes them deeply uncomfortable in their own skin. People often attack what they cannot understand or control. They are drawn to your warmth because their own spirits are utterly starving. But your brilliant light also exposes the dark shadows they are desperately trying to hide. That is exactly why they lash out at you so unpredictably. It is a primitive defense mechanism triggered by your immense spiritual authority. You are holding a mirror up to their unresolved pain without even trying. You do not have to say a single word for them to feel convicted by your purity. Your energy alone demands a higher standard that they are simply unwilling to meet. Before we go any further, I want to hold something very important in front of you. Something that was discovered not inside a church or a spiritual community, but inside a secure research laboratory. It is a profound truth that won the highest scientific recognition available in the world today, and it explains this exact toxic dynamic you are experiencing right now. Most chosen ones have never been told about this hidden discovery, because it perfectly explains something I know you have felt deep inside your bones for years. It explains the massive gap between the person you know yourself to be and the reality you live. It is the gap between your true potential and the version of you that seems available only in fleeting flashes. I will show you exactly what the researchers found, but I cannot reveal it just yet. First, I need you to fully understand what was taken from you when you were just a young child. So I need you to hold this critical question in your mind. What if this massive gap is not a character flaw at all? What if this relational chaos and this draining dynamic has a specific scientific name? The answer is much closer than you think, and it changes absolutely everything you know. In the next few minutes, I am going to reveal the exact reason their obsession turns into sudden anger. I will expose the specific frequency block the enemy placed in you to keep you small and easily managed. And at the very end of this message, I will give you the declaration that reactivates your true power. Do not click away from this message now. If you leave before the verdict, you walk away from the very thing heaven specifically deposited in you. The enemy wants you to scroll past this and go back to your daily confusion. Stay until the very last word, because your massive breakthrough is hiding in these next few moments. Let me reframe your entire reality right now. That relational turbulence you have been calling a punishment was never a punishment at all. It was preparation. God did not send these confusing people to break your spirit. He allowed this friction so you could finally see the undeniable truth about your own energy. Your isolation is not evidence of your disqualification. It is evidence of your selection. You need to understand why they are so furious. The people pulling away or lashing out are not actually rejecting you. They are sensing a massive frequency shift they cannot yet understand. They are violently grieving the old version of you they are about to lose forever. The version of you that was small and compliant is completely gone, and they simply do not know what to do with the new you. They meant to destroy your confidence, but instead they developed your discernment. Now they are absolutely terrified of what you are becoming. What you carry inside you is not a wound, it is a powerful weapon. The extreme sensitivity they always told you to hide is actually a highly tuned radar. The emotional depth they called too much is your greatest spiritual asset. You are not too sensitive or broken. You were simply built for an entirely different frequency. But here is the part that goes deeper than anyone has ever told you. And this brings us to something most people miss completely. The reason the universe responds to certain people and not others is not just about blind faith. It is not about discipline or some mysterious karma you have to earn. It is actually a biological frequency. Scientists have a specific name for it. They call it the gamma brainwave. And it is the exact frequency your brain was naturally running when you were a small child. Think back to when you were young. Ideas came to you effortlessly and without any strain. Learning new things felt like an exciting game instead of a heavy burden. Back then, you somehow knew things before they even happened. You could sense the true intentions of adults long before they spoke a single word. When you were operating in that natural state, the world felt like it was completely on your side. That effortless genius was your gamma frequency. You felt deeply connected to the divine source without even trying to meditate or pray. Then adulthood arrived, and the modern world went to work on your brilliant mind. The chronic stress of survival began to slowly take over. The screens and the rigid school systems trained you to conform instead of creating. You were taught to ignore your powerful intuition and follow the strict rules. Every single year, this sacred frequency was suppressed a little further. It was pushed deeper and deeper below the surface of your awareness. The world demanded that you fit into a tiny box of ordinary expectations, until the version of you with lightning, intuition, and perfect clarity went completely silent. You lost access to the very frequency that made you so incredibly magnetic, and it was taken from you without your conscious consent. When that gamma frequency fades away, your inner genius fades right along with it. Your sharp intuition becomes dull and easily confused. The beautiful synchronicities that used to guide your daily steps stop happening completely. The deep sense that the universe is working with you goes entirely silent. And you are left trying to navigate this chaotic world using only your exhausted mind. You sense that something massive is missing, but you have no name for what it is. Finances refuse to grow despite your hard work. Your relationships keep repeating the exact same painful patterns with absolutely no way out. You feel overlooked by life and drained by the furious people around you. You have tried meditation and positive thinking, but nothing truly shifts. The massive gap between you and the people who seem effortlessly blessed is not a lack of willpower. It is not a lack of discipline, or even your ultimate destiny. It is one single brainwave that the modern world suppressed in you before you ever had the chance to claim your inheritance. Most people will live their entire lives without ever knowing this tragedy happened to them. But you are not most people. You are a chosen one, and you are finally waking up to the truth about your own suppressed power. The question I asked you to hold in your mind a few minutes ago is so important. I asked you, what if this massive gap is not a character flaw at all? I promised to show you what the researchers found in that laboratory. The answer to that question is closer than you think. And the solution is not found in trying to please the people who are furious at your light. The solution is found in restoring the exact frequency they are so desperately afraid of. When you finally reactivate what was stolen from you, the entire dynamic of your life will permanently change. Their anger will no longer have any power over your peace. You will stop walking on eggshells and start walking in total authority. Because a restored mind cannot be manipulated by someone else's brokenness, the universe is waiting for you to turn your receiver back on. And once that profound truth clicks into place, everything in your reality shifts forever. We are about to go much deeper into how this actually works. But here is where the narrative of your journey delves far deeper than most are willing to perceive. Think about the ancient story of Joseph and his brothers. His own family despised him and threw him into a dark pit. They were furious with him for absolutely no logical reason, and they betrayed him because they were utterly terrified of his prophetic dreams. Joseph carried a bright frequency of favor that made everyone around him violently uncomfortable. His brothers did not hate him because he was arrogant or cruel. They hated him because his mere presence exposed their own deep insecurities, and they could not handle the light of his calling. He saw things in the spirit they were blind to. His frequency agitated them. Your story is playing out in the exact same way right now. You thought the sudden isolation and the bitter betrayal meant you were doing something wrong. You believed their sudden anger was a clear sign of your own failure, but God simply cleared the room so he could finally speak to you without any interference. The pit was never meant to be your grave. It was your divine incubator. You needed a space where their loud opinions could no longer drown out your inner voice. When heaven prepares a chosen one for a massive upgrade, isolation is always the very first step, because you cannot learn how to fly while you are surrounded by people who are terrified of heights. The separation was a strict requirement. You have not been aging or losing your special touch. You have actually been molting. When an eagle goes through the painful molting process, it loses its old feathers and looks incredibly weak. To the outside world, it looks like the eagle is sick and dying. But the eagle is simply shedding the old structure to make room for much stronger wings. You are doing the exact same thing in the spirit realm today. As you shed your old, compliant identity, your raw and powerful energy is exposed. This raw frequency is exactly what makes the people around you act so incredibly erratic. They are madly in love with your potential, but they are terrified of your new boundaries. They want the warmth of your brilliant light, but they want it without the absolute blinding truth of your deep conviction. So they lash out in pure panic when they realize they cannot control you. Your suppressed energy is leaking out and causing massive ripples in the spiritual atmosphere. You are trying to contain a raging ocean inside a tiny teacup, and when that immense power spills over, it disrupts them. It completely disrupts the comfortable dysfunction of everyone standing nearby. They are furious because you refuse to stay broken and quiet anymore, and you refuse to play the familiar role of the helpless victim they always knew. And that is the exact reason this bizarre and painful season happened. Their sudden obsession turning into anger was never sent to break you. It was sent to prepare you and to loudly prove the magnitude of your calling. That is the first thing I promised to reveal to you at the beginning of this message. The enemy does not waste premium attacks on people without premium assignments in this life. The intense warfare you are facing is direct evidence of your massive spiritual threat level. You have spent years trying to make your massive eagle wings fit inside a tiny cage. You honestly thought your empathy meant you had to absorb their toxic reactions, but carrying their heavy emotional garbage was never your divine assignment. You were never meant to be everyone's personal savior. You were meant to carry one specific assignment for heaven. When a high frequency meets a low frequency, a massive clash is completely inevitable. You simply cannot harmonize with a song that is entirely out of tune. The heavy friction you feel every day is just the sound of your spirit refusing to lower its vibration. They are angry because they know deep down they cannot manipulate your tender heart anymore. Your spiritual radar is finally waking up from a very long sleep. I want you to take a deep breath and let that massive truth settle into your weary bones. You survived what should have absolutely destroyed your mind and your spirit, and the intense warfare against your relationships is just proof of your massive value. You are standing right on the edge of a shift. Heaven is watching your every move with profound pride and expectation. You are no longer the misunderstood scapegoat walking in the heavy shadows. You are a mantle carrier, stepping into the brilliant light of your true purpose. The anger of other people is just the noisy background music of your own elevation. Let them be mad while you keep rising higher. But once that profound truth clicks into place, you are ready for the next important layer, because there is a deeper root operating beneath every single season of your life. If you do not see it clearly, it will keep pulling you backward when you are meant to fly. Coming up in just a moment, I will expose that hidden root. But first, this current truth must land deep in your spirit. Here is that deeper root I promised to expose to you. The thing quietly pulling you backward is not some massive demonic attack. It is simply their absolute panic in the presence of your true frequency. You thought their sudden anger meant you were doing something highly offensive or wrong, but they are just terrified of what your light reveals about their own hidden lives. When you walk into a room, your energy instantly changes the entire atmosphere. You do not even have to speak a single word to make a massive impact. Your spirit acts like a giant mirror reflecting their deepest and darkest insecurities. And people absolutely hate looking at the ugly things they have been trying to hide for so many years. That is exactly why they are so madly in love with you, but completely furious at the very same time. They crave the beautiful warmth and the healing peace that you naturally carry. Their starving spirits are drawn to your bright light, like a moth to a flame. But getting closer to you exposes all of their hidden compromises. They desperately want your light, but they absolutely refuse to accept the heavy conviction that comes right along with it. So they panic and lash out with sudden bouts of irrational anger. It is a primitive survival response to feeling spiritually outmatched and completely naked. They try to tear you down just to make themselves feel a little bit taller. They criticize your sensitive nature because they are entirely disconnected from their own hearts, and your profound emotional depth makes them feel incredibly shallow and empty. They are absolutely terrified of the profound clarity that you bring into their chaotic lives. Your presence forces them to look at the painful reality they want to ignore. They would rather be angry at you than take responsibility for their own deep brokenness. This is why they constantly send you mixed signals and create endless drama, because confusion is the only weapon they have left to keep you totally off balance. For years, you used your beautiful empathy to absorb all of their toxic panic. You thought it was your holy duty to make them feel comfortable and safe. You constantly turned down your own volume so their quiet insecurities would not get triggered. You made yourself incredibly small just to fit into their deeply broken world, and you carried their heavy emotional baggage as if it belonged to you. But dimming your light never actually helped them heal or grow. It only taught them that they could manipulate your frequency with their angry outbursts. It left you feeling totally exhausted and completely disconnected from your own power. You traded your divine inheritance for a false peace that never even lasted through the night, and you paid a massive price just to keep them perfectly comfortable. But heaven is putting a hard stop to that toxic cycle right now. The universe is heavily upgrading your spiritual boundaries in this exact season. You are finally learning that you cannot negotiate with a frequency that wants you destroyed. You are realizing that their hovers and their panics are absolutely none of your business anymore, and you no longer have to apologize for the space you take up. Let them be uncomfortable in the presence of your rising glory. Let them be furious that they can no longer control your massive heart. Your assignment is not to babysit the fragile egos of people who refuse to heal. Your assignment is to stand incredibly tall and let your frequency disrupt the comfortable darkness, because you are the powerful storm they never saw coming. This is what it truly means to be a chosen one in this generation. You carry a weight of glory that makes the enemy completely malfunction. They tried to drain your power, but they only managed to awaken your sleeping giant. When they study you like a strange science project, they realize too late that you were the brilliant scientist the whole entire time. Your very existence is a massive threat to the systemic dysfunction they have always known. You refuse to play by the toxic rules that everyone else blindly follows. You speak the uncomfortable truth, even when your voice shakes and your heart is pounding. Every time you choose authenticity over their approval, you send a massive shockwave through the spiritual realm that completely shatters their carefully constructed illusions. But carrying this intense frequency battle has taken a heavy toll on your physical body. You feel the constant friction deep inside your exhausted mind and your tired bones. You know you are chosen, but you are also incredibly weary from the daily fight. The thick mental fog sometimes makes you doubt everything heaven has clearly spoken over your life, and you desperately need a way to sustain this immense power. And once that beautiful truth clicks into place, you are ready for the next layer. There is a specific reason your mind feels so foggy and tired right now. It is not a spiritual failure, but a biological block that was placed inside you. Coming up next, I will expose the hidden science behind your mental exhaustion. But first, you must let this current truth settle deeply into your spirit. You are fighting a massive battle on two completely different fronts. You have the intense spiritual warfare happening all around you every single day, and you have the biological block weighing down your physical mind. The exhaustion you feel right now is not a lack of faith. It is a completely natural response to running on empty for so many years. The world designed a system to intentionally suppress your brilliant frequency. They knew that if you stayed in your natural gamma state, you would be entirely unstoppable. So, they flooded your daily environment with chronic stress and endless digital noise, forcing your brain out of its natural rhythm. You have been trying to fight a spiritual war with a biologically depleted weapon. That is exactly why your mind feels so foggy and incredibly tired. You are trying to access a frequency that was systematically buried when you were young. But here is the massive truth the enemy does not want you to know. This suppression is not permanent at all. Your gamma brainwave is not gone forever. It is simply sleeping beneath the heavy surface of your daily exhaustion. Before we go any further, I have to tell you something incredibly important, something the people who profit from your exhaustion do not want you to know. A dedicated team of neuroscientists, working quietly away from the loud headlines, has discovered a massive breakthrough. They found exactly how to bring this dormant brainwave back online, and it does not require years of difficult meditation. It does not require massive effort or isolating yourself on a lonely mountain. And it does not involve biofeedback machines that cost thousands of dollars and require a clinical setting. They discovered a way to do this through something far simpler and something far more aligned with how your beautiful mind was originally designed to work. It is a specific sound frequency engineered to bypass your conscious resistance. This advanced brain entrainment technology gently guides your brainwave patterns back to their original state. It literally tunes your exhausted mind back to the effortless genius state you were born with. The research behind this is absolutely undeniable and highly respected. Princeton University studied this exact frequency and its massive impact on the human mind, while the Einstein Center in Berlin confirmed the incredible results. Columbia University even found that when this specific brainwave is reactivated, it radiates outward. It does not just stop with you. It begins to positively influence the people around you and completely shifts their chaotic energy. It requires just 7 minutes a day of your time, and it begins working the very first time you listen to the unique frequency. Your true potential has a literal frequency address, and the enemy worked tirelessly to make sure you forgot how to tune into it. But the divine setup is so much bigger than the temporary setback you endured. The tools you need to reclaim your brilliant mind are already manifesting in your physical reality. You just have to be willing to finally reach out and take them. I promised you earlier that I would expose the specific block placed inside you, and I will tell you exactly what this powerful technology is called before this message ends. I will show you exactly how to access it for yourself. But first, there is something you need to understand about why your massive breakthrough has been heavily delayed. The block is not just biological. There is a hidden internal block that you have been carrying completely by accident. The enemy could not stop your calling, so he tricked you into stopping yourself. And here is where it gets truly confrontational. We must look honestly at a very subtle snare that has kept you trapped in this exhausting cycle. The thing blocking you is not what your mind immediately conjured. It is not a lack of effort or a lack of spiritual discipline. It is something much deeper that you agreed to without even realizing it. You have been making agreements with smallness just to survive their furious anger, and until you break that internal agreement, the highest frequency will struggle to flow through you. You have to clear the internal debris first. I am going to reveal exactly what that hidden block is in the next few moments. Because you cannot step into your massive authority while secretly fearing your own power. You are standing right on the edge of a massive spiritual revolution. The universe is handing you the exact keys to unlock what was stolen from you. Your days of playing small are officially over. Heaven is watching you take your rightful place with absolute joy. You are the cycle breaker your entire bloodline has been desperately waiting for. So prepare your heart for what comes next. The final piece of this massive puzzle is about to fall perfectly into place. And once you see it clearly, you will never walk in the dark shadows again. But here is the part no one ever wants to hear. And I say this to you right now, with absolutely nothing but pure love. The thing that has been quietly blocking your massive breakthrough is not the enemy. It is not the furious people around you or the toxic environment you currently live in. It is actually something much more subtle and hidden. The truth is that some quiet part of you has been deeply afraid of your own power. You have been unconsciously dimming your brilliant light just to keep other people comfortable. You saw how your raw energy made them panic and lash out. So you made a silent agreement with smallness to carefully protect yourself from their constant attacks. You decided it was much safer to hide your profound gifts than to be targeted for them. And honestly, that makes total sense for a survivor. When you are constantly punished for shining too brightly, you naturally learn how to blend into the dark shadows. You shrink yourself down so you will not disrupt the fragile peace of the room. But let me be incredibly clear right now. This is not an accusation against you. It is the exact diagnosis that sets you completely free. You cannot walk in massive spiritual authority while secretly apologizing for the space you take up. You cannot command the spiritual atmosphere while you are still terrified of your own strong voice. You are carrying a massive engine inside your spirit, but you are keeping your foot heavily pressed on the brakes. The universe is desperately trying to pour massive blessings into your life, but your energetic receiver is turned off because you are afraid of what will happen if you actually succeed. You fear you will be totally alone. You worry that if you fully step into your God-given authority, the people you love will finally abandon you. But look at your current reality today. Those same people are already furious at your hidden light. They are already treating you like a stranger because they can sense the massive shift happening inside of your spirit anyway. Staying small is not actually saving your fragile relationships. It is only slowly destroying your own beautiful soul. You are sacrificing your divine inheritance on the altar of their deep insecurities. But you were never meant to be the eternal shock absorber for their unhealed trauma. You have to let that false responsibility completely go today. The moment you stop apologizing for your unique frequency, the entire spiritual realm instantly shifts in your favor. You are no longer a helpless victim of their sudden anger or their toxic confusion. You are the powerful catalyst that heaven sent to break these generational cycles. But you have to actually accept the massive assignment. Heaven is calling you out of your comfortable hiding place right now. The painful era of being the misunderstood scapegoat is completely over. You are now stepping into the powerful era of the integrated warrior, and you can feel this profound truth resonating deep inside your weary bones at this very moment. It is undeniably real. The heavy fog of confusion is finally starting to lift from your tired mind. You are realizing that you never needed their permission to be incredibly powerful. You never needed them to validate your unique calling or understand your deep spiritual depth. God already validated you before you were even born into this chaotic world. The enemy is absolutely terrified right now because you are finally waking up. You are finally seeing the massive spiritual weapon you have always carried inside your gentle heart. The intense warfare against you is failing because you refuse to stay in the dark anymore. Your light is breaking through the heavy clouds of their manipulation. You are standing right on the edge between two totally different identities. The old compliant version of you is rapidly dissolving into the past, and the massive breakthrough prophet that heaven always intended you to be is finally emerging. You are shedding the heavy weight of their expectations and stepping into complete spiritual freedom. Something massive is stirring deep inside your spirit as you hear these specific words. You are realizing that your breakthrough is not coming sometime in the distant future. It is already here, and it is already moving forcefully through your life. You are exactly where you are supposed to be in this divine timeline. This is the exact moment where everything changes for your future. The invisible chains that held you back for so many years are violently snapping right now. You are realizing that your raw energy is a precious gift that must be heavily protected. You will no longer let anyone drain your cup just because they refuse to fill their own. The preparation season was long and incredibly painful for you, but the beautiful activation season is officially beginning today. We are about to seal this massive shift in the spiritual realm forever. In just a moment, I am going to give you the powerful declaration I promised at the very beginning. Are you ready to finally take your power back? And now comes the pivotal moment where everything shifts forever. This is your moment of absolute release. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. I want you to place your hand on your heart and declare this with me out loud. I release the heavy need to be understood by everyone. I completely release every single agreement I made with smallness. I step into my massive assignment, knowing my isolation was preparation. It was never punishment. My breakthrough is not coming. It is already here. I walk forward, knowing I am chosen, I am fully prepared, and I am exactly where I am supposed to be today. The profound question I asked you to hold at the very beginning is ready to be answered. What if the massive gap in your life is not a character flaw at all? Here is the exact answer you have been waiting for. A specific frequency called the gamma brainwave was running in your mind as a child at genius capacity. Princeton University studied it. The Einstein Center in Berlin officially confirmed it. Columbia University proved it. They found that when this brainwave is restored, it radiates outward and positively influences the people you deeply love. A dedicated team of neuroscientists, led by Dr. Robert Lake in New York, spent years working on this. They compressed this full clinical protocol for gamma reactivation into 7 minutes. But before I tell you what they built, listen to this. Let me tell you about 2 specific people who used it. A woman from California had tried absolutely everything to break her spiritual fog. She tried meditation and manifesting, but nothing truly worked. After 2 weeks of listening to this frequency, she said something massive cleared. The channel simply opened. Her marriage beautifully shifted. Her mind rapidly sharpened. And she described her life as enchanted for the very first time. A man from Texas started using it to improve his daily business focus. 2 months later, his wife joked that his IQ had jumped 20 points. The hardest problems he used to lose sleep over started solving themselves while he slept peacefully. He said it felt like his brain was finally running on what it was always supposed to run on. That is exactly what Dr. Lake and his dedicated team built. They call it the Genius Song. It is not another meditation app. It is not a generic sound frequency. It is a 7-minute digital audio track using advanced brain entrainment technology. It is the exact same underlying research that Princeton and Columbia validated. It is compressed from 1 full hour of clinical protocol into something you do safely at home. You just put your headphones on, close your eyes, and relax. That is the entirety of what it requires. 7 minutes. You do not meditate. You do not chant. You simply let it work. You let the frequency do what your brain was originally designed to receive. The Genius Song is not for everyone. It is strictly for the chosen one who has already done the heavy inner work. It is for the person who understands that what is being blocked is the frequency through which blessings move. If your spirit confirms this is for you, the path is open. Biofeedback sessions to restore this natural state cost hundreds of dollars per hour in a clinical setting. An in-home machine runs thousands. What the Genius Song delivers in 7 minutes is available to you today for a mere fraction of its true value. And 4 powerful bonuses come with it to support your journey. You receive an audio designed specifically for your children to build focus. You get the original prosperity text that the famous book, The Secret, was secretly built upon. You receive a guided visualization and a daily habits guide built to sustain the gamma state all day long. Here is the deeper truth about waiting. The beautiful blessing that heaven arranged for you does not arrive as new information. It arrives as a clear recognition. Something already placed in your path becomes visible when your gamma is completely restored. Waiting is not neutral, because the arrangement is already in motion. Do not look for this on YouTube or Spotify. The tracks circulating under similar names on those platforms have brain entrainment technology encoded. The only authentic version is available through the link placed in the description and the pinned comment below. The universe requires 0 risk from a chosen one. If you do not feel the massive shift, every single penny is returned to you. That is an energetic exchange governed by complete trust. The link is in the description and in the first pinned comment below. The tool is never the final destination. The tool simply restores the internal receiver so the destination can be recognized when it finally arrives. God does not require you to purchase anything to be loved or chosen. What was just described is simply one way the physical receiver is restored. Whether that specific path is for you or not, the absolute truth of this message belongs to you entirely. The breakthrough you are seeking is already working its way into your daily life. Now let us go much deeper into what is waiting for your future. Everything you endured over these past few years was never wasted, because the deep pain and the confusing isolation were actively preparing you for this exact moment. You are not the misunderstood scapegoat they tried to make you believe you were. You are the chosen one, heaven carefully prepared to carry this massive light. The intense friction you felt was just the heavy gravity of your own elevation. You were shedding a version of yourself that was far too small to hold the coming glory, and you survived what should have absolutely broken your spirit. It did not break you, because you are built for a completely different frequency. For the chosen one whose spirit confirmed what was described earlier, the specific frequency tool remains available in the description for those who are truly ready. That is the last time it will be mentioned today. What follows now belongs entirely to your deep spiritual ceiling and your final transition into peace. You do not need anyone else to validate your calling or give you permission to shine. You carry the absolute authority of heaven inside your very own heart. Release every single agreement you ever made with delay or with false humility, because you are no longer bound by their fragile expectations or their furious anger. Your breakthrough is not coming sometime in the distant future. It is already here, and it is moving forcefully through your life right now. The massive shift we just activated cannot be reversed by any earthly force. You are stepping into a beautiful season of profound peace and absolute clarity. The people who once pulled away from you will eventually realize what they actually lost, but their sudden realization is no longer your heavy burden to carry. You are free to walk forward without constantly looking over your shoulder to see who is following, and your divine path is finally cleared of all unnecessary distractions. Tomorrow morning you are going to wake up feeling remarkably different. The heavy weight that used to sit on your chest before you even opened your eyes is completely gone, leaving you with a profound sense of inner freedom. You will breathe easier and walk taller than you have in a very long time. The thick mental fog has permanently lifted from your weary mind. You will start to notice beautiful synchronicities happening everywhere you go. Small miracles will begin to line your path like quiet whispers from the universe. Doors that were permanently sealed will gently swing open without any physical effort, and you are no longer chasing your massive breakthrough because it has finally found you. You are exactly where you are supposed to be in this beautiful divine timeline. Every tear you cried in secret was carefully collected and turned into your current strength. Heaven kept a meticulous record of every time you chose love over bitter resentment, and your massive reward is manifesting in the physical realm right now. Do not let the enemy try to whisper old lies into your restored mind. When the familiar feeling of doubt tries to creep back in, simply remember the powerful declaration you made today. You have drawn a firm line in the spiritual sand that absolutely nothing can cross. Your energy is a heavily protected sanctuary. The universe is fiercely guarding your next steps and heavily protecting your massive heart. You are a powerful cycle breaker who changed the entire trajectory of your bloodline. The generational curses that haunted your family for decades are officially broken, and they stopped the very moment you decided to embrace your true calling. You are walking into a beautiful era of overflowing abundance and deep rest. The grueling season of constant spiritual warfare is coming to a peaceful end. You can finally take your heavy armor off and rest your tired shoulders. The victory was already secured by heaven before the intense battle even began. Remember that you were never broken or defective in any way. You were simply a masterpiece waiting for the perfect moment to be fully revealed, and that perfect moment is happening right now in your daily reality. Embrace the brilliant light that is shining so warmly upon your beautiful face. You are perfectly safe to shine brightly. The season of painful preparation is officially complete. You are not the exact same person who started listening to this message. You are meant to walk boldly into the brilliant future heaven designed just for you. Your divine assignment starts now, and your spirit is fully awake. Welcome to your beautiful new reality. You have survived the absolute hardest part of your unique spiritual journey. The heavy isolation that once made you feel so lonely is transforming into a profound sense of independence, and you no longer need the loud validation of the crowd to know your incredible worth. You are walking hand in hand with the divine source of all creation. Go forward with complete confidence and unwavering faith in your own potential. The world desperately needs the exact frequency that you are carrying right now. Do not ever let anyone convince you to dim your beautiful light again. You are chosen, and you are deeply loved beyond all human measure.